And um, just ending crap till I get to work. Okay, we finally have a joiner. Yay, 4 minutes in. Welcome. That is a ski jump. In case you're wondering what the hell is that in the background. Next weekend, people are going to be jumping off of that. It's a big thing in our town. Olympians train on that. So pretty cool. Sally Stanley. Ugh, I am not doing okay, but thank you for asking. Yesterday was a tough one. I was at work watching all that stuff go down. I cried so much that I puked. I haven't done that ever, but I was so sick to my stomach, Sally. It's absolutely disgusting what our government's trying to portray. I watched the State of the Union this morning with Butvino and him sitting there spewing his rhetoric. Welcome in, Angel. So really fucking disgusting what our government's trying to portray that man as. He was trying to help a woman that ICE shoved to the ground, and they shot him multiple times after taking his gun. So they shot an unarmed man. If that isn't murder, it's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny. It's just disturbing. I am, Sally. This is not the country that I grew up in. This is not the country of land of the free, home of the brave. I think what pisses me off even more is the fact that I had somebody earlier this week try and tell me to change who I am so I can remain safe. Okay, that's my Uber driver that got stuck. She's almost there. I told her to use my driveway because that is a dead end. And usually when I tell people to use my driveway, they pull in a little bit, pull out, and down that kind of a steep hill in the snow without four-wheel drive. Hopefully she can get out. I'm not going to, Sally Stanley. It's just I'm upset about the person who delivered that message because it was somebody that I value and trust. And for them to sit there and tell me to dye my hair normal and not walk around with blue hair and not go to protests with everything going on, not happening. It's we the people. It's we the people. There's more of us than there is of them. So I am waiting to go to work. And I think my driver is here. She's almost out, but I'm show. Hello.
Hello, how are you feeling about?
Oh, I would be great if I could get to work.
Yeah. Uh,
So if you want to use that spot right there to turn around up ahead is a dead end.
usually,
The lady that's over there, Porter Kern, did not listen to me and she does not have four-wheel drive and went all the way down my driveway and got stuck. So that's my other Uber driver.
did you start
Yeah, she's stuck.
right now? You help it?
I think she has her husband on the phone.
Helping?
I don't. She's almost out.
Don't worry, I may help you. See, she's a lady.
You are such a gentleman.
You know waiting? It's
Huh?
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I will never stop a man from helping somebody in need. What a nice guy. He's my second Uber driver, and he's willing to help that Uber driver to get out of my driveway because she made a very poor life decision. All-wheel drive down the snowy driveway. It's pretty steep. And then I kept on telling her she doesn't speak that great of English. I'm gonna assume that she's European. And she keeps on going back down, not realizing that making her plight worse. And there's a drop off on when you get to the lower part of that driveway. That if she kept on going, she would have gone over the edge, and my friends and her would have had a real problem. So I think it's wonderful that he's trying to help her. I think she may be stuck in that spot now. Should have just stayed where she was. Yeah, it's pretty cold here, Sally Stanley. We just had record breaking cold on Friday where it was 35 below zero. Sorry, I'm gonna. So our driveway is all gravel, so we can't plow. It's kind of a bitch to shovel, and it's kind of lopsided because of water when it goes down, with it being gravel and everything. So one side's up, one side's down. Going down that driveway is not a good idea when you have all-wheel drive. Yeah, now she's just burning the tires. At least she's at the closer of the top of it now. Hi, Spirit in the Sky. Oh, scary, I know. Now he's trying to push her. That's such a nice young man going out there to help his fellow person. Got a great idea. Hold on. Maybe if I tell him there's a shovel out there. Yeah, let's watch. So there's a shovel right here. I don't know if that'll help. There's a shovel right here. Yeah, she's just gonna keep on digging herself in. Yeah, I live in the woods. Yes, it is a Toyota Camry. God bless this man. Right? Or at least listen when I tell them not to go down my driveway. Either or. She may need a tow truck. Thank you for being so nice. You're fine, sweetheart. I tried to tell her don't go down the driveway. She kept on going down. I'm like, you're gonna get stuck. You are such a gentleman. After you're done with both of us, please call your mother and tell her she did a great job with you. Raising such a good man. Did she say if her husband was coming?
just ahead, turn right on Broadberry Trail.
Snowplow. That's what she needs
Turn
is
right
a
on
truck to
Broadberry Trail.
hook up to her and just pull her out.
Just helping them.
Yeah, no, you were helping very nicely. I wish there was more people like you out in this world that would be willing to help. Some people look at that and go, that's their problem. But you went out to help, so she is
Turn
just
right
in a
on
pickle.
13. In a quarter mile, turn left on Lincoln Avenue.
No, don't apologize. Are you okay? Yeah.
Go to back and helping this lady.
Turn left on Lincoln Avenue.
Wonder if that police officer is going over there.
This lady is on the talking there on the pool for roof. Wood
Hmm.
Right to stay on Lincoln
you
Avenue.
pool,
Yeah.
speed pool. I don't
Her
know.
English, not so good. She had to have me talk to the people at Uber because she has a hard time communicating.
That I don't know. I don't have a room to walk. Otherwise,
Yeah, because then you could pull her. Right. I feel bad she's stuck there. And I tried to warn her, but she didn't understand me. I told her, don't go down. And she just kept on going down. Yeah, I don't know how far her husband
one two people is not bad, not good for your pool.
is. Right. I saw you trying to push the car at one point while she was going forward. Our driveway is really weird. It's gravel, so we can't plow it, but we have
You
trucks.
you go to tell me your side
Mhm.
is full for clean for you. Otherwise, someone going to down.
Yeah,
Otherwise, sleep for car going to down.
yeah.
So be
And
careful.
she was making me nervous because down at the bottom of it, the house is all the way at the bottom, so there's a couple of drop offs. She got so close to the edge, and I'm like, stop pulling back. She would have had a lot more of a problem than just being stuck. And then my friends would have to figure out why there's a car there. That's why it's always good to have AAA. You get in situations like that, you can call them, and then they come, they send a tow truck, they come and get you out.
There may be not going to down. This lady is not driving driving. Yeah, I'm talking. She go around, just no.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know what language she speaks. I know she's European.
Spaniard, Spaniard.
Spaniard? Hmm. I was trying to pick up what how she was speaking so I could try and figure out how to use a Google translator, but
Someone help, but we help.
you're a very nice man. Very nice. I'm gonna give you a good tip because that was wonderful for you to even opt to help. No, bless you.
No business.
Keep right onto UK Drive. Then cut off Carl on the right.
It's gonna be the building right here. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, man. Have a good one.
You as well. God bless you. Oop. Have a good day, sweetheart. And thank you for going back to help. Oh my gosh. Right, Sally? Some people would be like, that's her problem. She can figure it out for herself. The fact that he tried to help her and that he's going back to help her, that just speaks volumes. I hope he understood what I was saying to him. It seems like he spoke clear enough English where he understood me telling him what a good person he was. Hopefully Andy left me in good condition. He did last week. So one can hope and pray he did this week. Thank you guys for staying with me and watching how my day started. I guess I'm luckier than her. Turn on the bathroom lights. The sad reality is no heater vent in here. So we got a door open. Oops. We got to leave the door open because we've got a little heater and it doesn't completely warm the bathroom, but it makes it a little more bearable to be in there. Those toilets turn into igloos. You men don't know how easy we could be, Brandon, but you're out over there. Now we're just opening the bathroom stalls. So that way people can pee somewhat comfortably. But you guys got it fucking easy. You just fucking stand and go to these things. I mean, I'm sure shrinkage is involved there, but try sitting on a toilet that's ice cold. Not pleasant. Not pleasant. This place makes me sad when it's cold because my bathroom's fucking warmer than this whole place. Okay, I'm already seeing things that are making me nervous and how my stock is. Today is football day, people. We find out who goes to the Super Bowl. The Patriots are playing. I forget who, but I know Seattle is playing Denver. That'll be an interesting game, seeing as what they did to the Niners to knock them out. Turn on my little heater. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking Andrew! You know, I just don't get it. You got one fucking job. One fucking job. So we're gonna have to go down in the meat locker because somebody can't fucking stock shit. I complained to my boss, but he doesn't give a shit either, so there's that. What the fuck, Abby? I don't even care at this point. Oh wait, no, those do have to go back because Happy Sunday, everyone. This is my life in hell. Yeah, we're gonna leave that there. Today was not a day that I needed to be late, apparently. But seriously, what the entire fuck, Andrew? This one's rich. Here, let's throw the six pack in there just like it is. There is more fucking important shit, I guess, to be bitching about. Oop. Oh man. Can you guys hear me now? My bad. Hi. Sorry, guys. I forgot I had my headphones on. Ooh, that's lovely. So now, to make the list. Sorry about that, Stanley. I forgot I had my headphones on. And then all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, maybe they can't hear me. Ah. Holy schnoikies. Okay, now to make the list of stuff that I need to go and get from the dungeon. Okay. One bud. 6 light. 9 Violet. 1 blue moon. 1 Stella. 2 white claw. Okay. 10 people sitting there watching me write. Eat your broccoli! Oh, girl, it has been a morning. My Uber driver is stuck currently in my driveway because she didn't listen. I told her to use the front of my driveway to turn around because forward would have been a dead end. She did not listen. And now she's stuck. So my wonderful Uber driver. Okay, what is this black car and why are they in front of my work? Well, yeah, I mean, it was a language barrier, broccoli. I think the guy said that she's Spanish, but not Mexican, so I'm assuming like Portugal or something. Buenos Aires. There's different levels of Spanish. So when I told her don't go all the way down my driveway, what did she do in all-wheel drive in a Toyota Camry? She went all the way down. Not a smart move on her behalf. So, as the guy, because Uber set it up to where somebody else was coming to get me, he went out to go and help her. He's like, do you mind if I go out and help? And I'm like, no, that's wonderful. So he went out to go and help her and tried getting her to listen to him. She wasn't really listening to him. So, yeah. And then I get to work and find out Andy fucked me, broccoli. So, it was not fun. I was trying to figure out where she was from, so this way I could, like, Google Translate it. But I was totally off because I thought that she was European. So she was supposed to have her husband come and help her. And hopefully he'll be there soon. So now we are stacking my bar. Because Andy did not last night. One job in life. Motherfucker can't do it. I need a Budweiser. And since we're down here, we are gonna smoke. Need one of these. How many extra? 3. All I wanted to do was go to work today. I got the Bush. 4 Coronas. I don't know if Carl's gonna come out, so to bring up his 3 old styles. Got the Corona. I don't need Coors. I need a bunch of light and shit. Yingling. Sometimes Andy's nice and is like, oh, I'm sorry I fucked up and here's some money, but he just had a kid and I'd feel wrong taking money off of him while he's trying to pay for diapers and formula. But I'm not above violence. I might punch him. by noon. Cherry and 2 pineapple. The fact that I'm going to have to come back down here is redonkulous. Yeah. So I'm going to stick at PBR. Right there. Do I have 4 spots? No. So we're going to leave this down here. Oh my God. What a Sunday. Not really, Joe Cool. Not really. This place, the heater's broken. So when I walked in yesterday, it was registering 59, even though the heater's set at 72. It's fucking colder than a witch's tit. I could legitimately cut fucking glass with my shit. So, not at all. I need to make a pot of coffee, which I was gonna do, but I have to stop because somebody doesn't know their job. And they leave me all these boxes like I'm their fucking mother. Joe, I can't wait to be out of here. I have like 2 months. 2 months in this fucking jail cell. And then I'm back home. This is just the beginning of my day, Sally Stanley. Yesterday was kind of busy. I had some pub crawl come in. They were celebrating their 30th birthday. But kind of shitty tippers. There was a couple of people that were decent. Like this one girl asked for club soda and a lime. And she tipped me $5. And then another person tipped me $5. But then there was a couple of people that tipped me 50 cents, a buck, whatever. Some people's tipping skills are just fucking horrendous. Hey, D. Johns. I did not see you, my lovely. I'm sorry. I see Joe Cool saying hi, so I'm saying hi as well. But yeah, trying to stay fucking warm, Joe. My Uber driver, she did not listen to me and got stuck in my driveway. So my second Uber driver dropped me off and then turned around and went back to go and help her. He's like, she's not listening to me. And I'm like, yeah, it's a language barrier. She didn't listen to me and going down the driveway. I mean, you got a Toyota Camry that doesn't have 4-wheel drive going down a gravel driveway that isn't shoveled because it's snowing. So, Rosie! Is it almost time to do another one of your foods around the world, I hope? We always have such a good time in your live, Rosie. Yeah, it's a fucking bitch out there, isn't it, Joe? And at least you have a luxury that most people don't have in your area, where you have the back area where you can park. But it doesn't make it any better for the fucking alleys that they don't plow. Ooh, French. Parlez-vous français? I can't wait for this one. I wonder if there's going to be like a dessert croissant of some sort. Because they do a lot of stuff with their pastries. Yeah, I remember living in Cicero, and if you had to Off-Street Park, when they fucking took away our dibs, that was fucked up. Me and my ex were like, fuck that. If we go out there and dig that shit's a fucking ours. He goes, you go and stand in it until I come back. Well, I am looking forward to your French food of the world. I always have a good time when you open those. And then the trivia game that we play. Sometimes I'm just purely guessing. Sometimes I know. But yeah. I would much rather be in my nice warm room with my dog under my down comforter. Instead, I've got layers upon layers. I gotta keep track and make sure. Okay, technically, we opened, but I don't hear anybody. I can usually hear people coming in and out. And no, we are not a smoking bar, but I just made us a smoking bar. Nobody likes a bragger, Angel. And you do have that ice. Because I was watching El Wolf, not El Wolf, Big Chief a couple of days ago. You just don't have our type of ice where it's cold and yucky and ugh. Why my immigrant parents decided to stop in the middle of the United States. I asked them constantly. I'm like, you both come from somewhat warm fucking climates. Why'd you stop here? But I guess it could be worse. I could be over in the New York area where they have northeasters. And those are even worse than what we get here. I think it was like 2-3 years ago, fucking Buffalo kept on getting fucking buried with snow. Just buried. When I walked into work, this one lady that I worked with, she's like, you know what I'm glad about? And she's like, I'm like, what? And she's like, that we're not fucking Buffalo. And I'm like, yeah, me too. We get enough here. And if lake effect kicks in, it makes it even worse for us. But northeasters are just redonkulous. I could live in the 40s, Rosie. It's the fucking negative. I think we're at 10 degrees today. 40 is a luxury. Christmas, sadly, was 50 degrees. And I say that sadly because it's the only time of the year that I want to see snow. Because that's how I've had many Christmases throughout my life. And 50 degrees. 50 degrees. I guess we're paying for it now. Okay, now I gotta haul up this liquor. So you guys get to watch me walk up the stairs. Oops. Or look at the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Okay, now I can get you guys out of the box. Gonna prop you guys up nicely right there as I stack my cooler. And then we gotta go back down again for more. Can we all collectively say, fuck Andy? So one great thing about my customers is sometimes they do really cool shit for me. I had some customers who are regulars come in and they were talking about how the wife's brother passed away and they're stuck with all this music stuff. And they're like, we've got these records. Would you be interested? They're punk. We know you like punk. I got some badass fucking records yesterday of Sex Pistols, of Pill. Pill is Johnny Rotten's second band. I got some cool pins. I have yet to look inside because they told me before that he stuck his concert stubs in some of the albums. So maybe later tonight I'll go through them and see if there's any concert stubs in there. But Carl. And Mike, in case he comes in. It's always a good thing when you wake up alive, Angel. Okay. Oh, I say we pack a bowl and smoke a bowl downstairs. What do you all say? So a couple of weeks ago, I've been using this glass jar that I got from a dispensary. Ooh, it's already packed. And I went to go to the bathroom and it fell out of my pocket. And because we have like stone tile, I guess, it broke and shattered. So I went on Amazon and found something shatterproof. You're technically supposed to put salad dressing, ketchup, whatever kind of condiment you'd like in your lunch. And you can, it's got like a little silicone top. It's pretty cool. I got a few of them in case I lose one because I'm a pothead. I'm a pothead. I'm a smoker. What the hell do you want from me? I'm just a toker. Okay. We're gonna put that there. I need these four. And then High Life. What do I need? Need a Blue Moon. 9 High Life. Blue Moon, I saw you standing alone. Oh. Marijuana. It saves people's lives. And not the person smoking it. Sometimes it's the person smoking it saving other people's lives for them not killing them.
Andy's lucky he just had a baby because I probably murdered him. Okay, and I think that I got the 4 Coronas, I've got the 5 Busch, I got the 9 High Lifes. Okay, woohoo. Beer gotten. So we're going to stay down here for a couple of minutes and smoke this bowl. Yeah, you guys have probably heard me bitch a lot about Andy. Oh, my dear Lord Jesus. And I don't see him till next week, so punching him in the face, maybe I might not want to by next Saturday. Until Sunday again. Last week, he actually left me pretty decent, so I don't know why he fucked me so hard today. But it's not like I generate a lot of business during the day. Even though football is in play, people are diehard Bears fans. So I'd like to think they want to know who's going to the Super Bowl, but who knows? Yeah. It's a capital murder case. I hope they don't pick me. That's the messed up thing is, if I were to ever do jury duty, I'd want to sit on something like that, but depending on the situation, like if it involves domestic violence, I wouldn't be able to sit on that jury because of what happened to my mom. So I think it would be interesting to sit in and listen to what's going on. Wear a rainbow jacket. That's not even nice, Angel. What is that saying? Oh, okay. So then you might not be able to be picked because they ask you questions like that, don't they? Angel, why do you keep on picking on people? First the gays, now goth people. What's wrong with goth people? They're some of the most intelligent people you will probably ever come across. They may look odd to you, but they're very educated people, to be honest. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I had a friend whose kid got attacked by a dog, and she's well into her 30s and still has the scars from it. Dog nearly tore off half her face. And it was a relative's dog, so that makes it even worse. I got attacked by a German Shepherd when I was a kid, but I still love my Germies. I had 2 of them. One of the biggest loves of my life was a German Shepherd named Darius. I'll look it up, Rosie. some things that people would be surprised to learn about me is that I wanted to go into forensic science because of what happened to my mom. I didn't want another family to go through what we had to go through. But unfortunately, because of a charge I caught, I could never do that. So, but I think that forensic science is amazing. I've always loved science. My mom said I should have became a lawyer because I always argued my way out of things. But that bar exam is no joke. If John F. Kennedy Jr. had to take that a couple of times, and the education that that man got in his life, and he had a hard time, yeah, I'm not passing no bar exam. All I know is at the end of the day, I had a badass attorney, Bob Rasha. I owe my life to him. Literally. I would not be sitting here doing lives in a bar right now if it weren't for him. And no, I didn't kill anybody, surprisingly. Yes, I know, because of my high love of violence. But I would have gone away for a very long time. And then there was another amazing attorney that I had go to bat for me, Allison. I would have been in the whole $50K if it wasn't for her. Okay, I need to go and get a Miller Lite and a genuine draft, and we are good. Rosie, nothing? Half my wardrobe is that color. Pants, shirts, especially concert shirts. I have very few concert shirts that aren't black. Hoodies. My Metro hoodie is way too cold to be wearing here. So I threw on my Lucky Boys because they're keeping me warm. And I sent that to my friend, who's the singer of this band. I'm like, thanks for keeping me warm in this cold, Stubby. In fact, Rosie, it goes way back for Batman in black. My mom hated that I always was wearing black on some level. And when it came time for me to go to prom, she was all excited. And I'm like, yeah, I want a black dress. And she's like, really? Really? And I'm like, yeah, and black shoes. Come on. She really hated the prom picture because I went with a friend. It wasn't even a boyfriend. I went with a friend and we took pictures in a cemetery. So, yeah, she was highly disappointed. I was not that girl. She was lucky she got me in a dress. Okay. Light and MGD. Yeah, even my shoes currently are black. Here. It goes with everything, Rosie. Okay, they're a little dirty from salt, but they are black. And the pants underneath, the pants I'm wearing, black. MGD. Why is Pacifico on top of it? We're gonna move those over by the staircase. I hope I don't have to get ice. I didn't even fucking check that shit. There you go, D. Johns. That's what I'm talking about. It's a statement. It's a way of life. Black goes with everything. I could, if you go in a Halloween costume, Rosie, I can send you my T-Rex costume. Show up in the court in an inflatable T-Rex costume. They'll be like, yeah, we're gonna ask you to leave. And Rosie will be like, yes. Well, yes, because they have short hands. I can't wait to don the T-Rex costume again. Ooh, no way. She made your clothes? I wish I knew how to make clothes. I wish I knew how to sew better than I do. In a pinch, I can do it, but the eyesight's getting a little worse, and needling that thread, that's pretty cool. I actually made a joke that if I ever got married to my mom, that it would probably be a black dress, and she's like, please don't. And I'm like, I like the fact that you think I'm gonna get fucking married. Marriage is when you take dating way too far. The only committed relationship I'm in is with my dog and cat. I fucking love you, D. John. See, this is why we're friends. Both here and outside. Because I would have probably done the same thing. I've actually wanted to go 2 towns over just walking around in a hockey mask because it's named Crystal Lake. Jason Camp Crystal Lake. That's why I've made a couple of shorts. I was over in that area with Jason. Yeah, date's over, Chris. Get out. They don't always wear black. And hey, you did it twice, so. Okay, now to check the ice bin on top of everything else. I haven't even made coffee yet. I need coffee. Yay, I don't have to go and get ice. So that's a plus. But I do have to go back downstairs to get the boxes that were left for me. Oh yeah. Damn it, Jim. Yeah, I'm gonna be burnt to a crisp, D. John. Fuck being put in a hole in the ground. Not like anybody's gonna come and fucking visit me. And, you know, years down the line, everybody's dead. Then really nobody's coming to visit me. So, cremate me, put me back together with my daughter, and spread me somewhere in San Francisco. a cigarette on the floor. Fucking Andy. It was a Saturday, I guess. It was kind of cute when I left yesterday. There was this adorable little boy that had a Packers jersey on. He was wearing number 87. Number 87 is Jordy Nelson. I think he was quite impressed at the fact that I knew that. And he proudly told me that he was both a Bears fan and a Packers fan. So I think that's pretty cool. And he had to be no more than 6 years old. So I stayed here a little bit, and I was talking to Andy and his cousin, because his cousin's really nice. And the little boy he bowled a strike, and he came and he's like, guess what? I knocked down all the pins. And I'm like, good job, buddy, Knuckles. So we did Knuckles, and we blew it up. And then he ran over by me, and he took the back of, we have, because we're so old, we have score sheets. So you have to know how to score on bowling, and we provide you pencils that say our bar's name. And he took the back of it and he drew like a fish, and he was telling me about some app that he has that helps him draw, and that he didn't think that he did really good. He did a lot better than me. But he was adorable. So I like moments like that where kids come in with their families and stuff, and they're that excited. And then another boy and dad, I don't know if they're friends outside of this, but they definitely became friends while they were here. They were running around together, bowling together. It was quite cute. Ew. So that's some of the benefit of my job here. And when it's cold, a lot of people tend to come more for the bowling because it's indoors. I wish it was warmer for them. He said you were morbid. You can do all kinds of stuff with ashes nowadays. You can turn people into diamonds. It's crazy. Sadly, when I lost my very good friend Tina, her husband took a bunch of the roses that came with the floral arrangements, and he made a beautiful rosary out of it. He had to send it somewhere. He didn't particularly do it. He sent it somewhere to have it done. But he hung it on, his, rear view mirror, whatever, that's up in front when you're driving. So that way he was always protected by her wherever he went. Him and their daughters. So yeah, you can do all kinds of cool shit with people's ashes. I just want to be spread somewhere in San Francisco. My favorite place in the whole wide world is Pier 39 by the Sea Lions, or off the Bay Bridge. Ugh, something smells. Is it these glasses? Probably. Fucking Andy. I don't know what I'm going to do with that kid. I know one time when I said something to my boss, he was like, oh, he's not going to be here much longer. So that's his take on it. So I just stopped telling my boss things, because obviously one ear and out the other. But how many jobs can you work where you don't have coworkers or a manager breathing down your neck? It's just me. And seeing as I'm not a thief, and taking money and stuff, I have nothing to worry about. Yeah, I think it was that glass. Oh, that just smelled rank as fuck. Yeah, I think that that's pretty neat that you can do that. I'm glad that I didn't do the original thing that I wanted to do with some of my daughter's ashes. My father-in-law had made these cement blocks in the front yard for flowers, and I wanted to plant a rose bush there and put some of her ashes there. And the reason why I'm glad that I didn't do that is not just because we separated, but because after my beloved mother-in-law passed away and left the house to my ex and his twin brother, they sold the building. So my daughter would be sitting there on property where nobody knows her. They wouldn't know it, but I would know it, and it would bother me. So one of the great things I did do with her ashes is when my mother-in-law passed and left this world, I found a beautiful little case. Because of the situation when she was born and passed, which is the same day, I didn't know if she got her last Catholic rites. So I took her in this little container, in this little jeweled container, and I had a Catholic priest bless her and give her her last rites, and he baptized her all in one shot. Didn't even charge me. Was like, it was my pleasure to do this and bring peace to you. So then I took that little container to the wake, and I put my daughter in my mother-in-law's hands, because no safer place in this world aside from that woman's hands. I can still feel her touching my face and making me feel like I was 5 years old all over again. She was a wonderful woman. So part of her already went up to heaven. Well, she's already up there, but part of her took her grandma up to heaven, so she didn't have to be alone in that moment. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think so, Sally. Took me a long time to get peace with that, and that was part of the process. The other part was just, I guess, finally hitting the stage of grief of acceptance and dealing with it a lot better, instead of hiding off in my room crying on that day because another year passed and another year we didn't have. But I have some amazing people that have helped me through the way. My girlfriend that I talked about at the rosary got married. If it wasn't for her, the state that I was in after I lost my daughter, I owe a lot to her too, because everybody was sitting there not knowing how to help me. And she was the only one who was like, no, enough. Come on, get the fuck up, let's go. You're not going to do this anymore. And it is kind of funny when you think about hindsight, because when it would come close to her daughter's passing, like I said, I would get very upset. You know, when I was with my ex, he had to watch me lock myself in a room and just don't bother me that day. And whenever I tried to talk to him, he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And I would get so mad at him, and it would cause fights. I'm like, how is he fucking... In my head, I'm sitting there thinking, how am I the one losing my fucking shit and he's going about his day? It was his kid too. I held that grudge for so long. It took us being separated. I called him on that day and he's like, come on, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, okay, but at this point, I didn't have to live with him and fight. I could just hang up the phone. And he goes, no, not this time. And I'm like, what do you mean, not this time? He goes, every year I tell you I don't want to talk about it, and you get mad and start a fight with me. He goes, how do you think that made me feel not being able to fix you? I tried my fucking hardest. And I never even thought. That never even crossed my mind. Never even crossed my mind. I wish he would have said it earlier. I don't know if it would still change the outcome of us being together still. But I wish he would have said that earlier. Instead of letting me be mad at him and hate on him and say things that I can never take back. But I never even once thought of his side of it. And I felt selfish in that moment because I was like, oh my God, I was so involved in myself that I didn't even think of how he was taking it. He didn't want to talk about it because it broke his heart as much as it broke mine. But he just didn't outwardly show it. So we have a great relationship despite when his mom left this world, we were no longer together. I held that man as he cried. He gave me beautiful children. He protected me in a spot that I didn't know anything about. So every day until I take my last breath, I have a lot of gratitude for that. I have had some not so nice boyfriends in the past that wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. So when men like that come into my life, I value them. Because they're few and far between, especially nowadays. A lot of people tell me that, Sally. I just know how to exist. I don't know where the strong comes from. I wish I could tell you. I just know how to exist. I have had moments where I've sat there and cried about it, but now as I've come along in older years, I tend to realize that doesn't do anything. So I just know how to get up. I know how to keep telling life it hits like a bitch. Do I want to be that person that sits in a room and cries? Fuck yeah. Yesterday was very hard to watch. Very hard to watch. That man was killed in cold blood helping another human being. And then, what would make it right is our government saying we're going to investigate this and hold that person accountable. They're not going to. Something that sent chills down my spine. I was watching State of the Union and they were talking to Butt Vino. And the reporter asked him or the journalist, whatever, she asked him if that man was still active there. And he said yes. So that madman who pumped more than one bullet in a man helping a woman is on the streets there. That's fucking terrifying. Anybody who voted that motherfucker into office, fuck you. Fuck you to the fullest extent. I don't even want to fucking even talk to you at this point anymore. The friends of mine that are auditors sitting there saying that cops are afraid of cameras. So are ICE agents, apparently. No, they're not going to investigate it, Sally Stanley. They're claiming that the man bum rushed them and attacked them and had a gun. If you watch the video footage, maybe I'll post some in the community so you can see it because I know you're outside of the United States, Sally. It shows he was directing traffic originally. There was some form of communication that didn't seem like it was rough communication between him and an ICE agent. And then next thing you see is an ICE agent shove a woman to the ground. I mean, like, not even just push, I mean, shoved her. So he went to go and help her because he's an ICU nurse in the VA hospital over there. He's from here. He's from Illinois. 37 years old. So then about 5, 6 of them tackle him to the ground. Somebody sees a gun, takes it off of him, and then they pumped him full of lead. And then our government gets to say that he was the agitator in the situation. If I remember correctly, the statement Butt-Vino said was he brought a gun to a riot. That was his exact words. Just like the woman who sparked it all off there, Renee Good. They're not investigating hers. The administration that we have in place is cover our asses. So they're not going to admit they were wrong. The only way that that's going to happen is if Democrats get control of the House, and then they can form to impeach all of them. How Kristi Noem is not impeachable in this moment, how the president isn't impeachable in this moment, is all because of the fact that it's Republican run and everybody's kissing that man's ass. So, it's kind of terrifying. The family made a statement about their son who was murdered yesterday because of the narrative that's being pushed by our government. That's fucking horrible. That'd be like me having to go on TV and say, I love my mom's murderer. No. I'm high, but I ain't that fucking high. Ooh, we need coffee. Yep, here's a licensed gun owner, and it's conceal and carry there. So, the irony in the fact that he brought that to protect himself and wasn't able to. And those motherfuckers believe in the fucking right to bear arms when somebody crawls up a tower with fucking semi-automatic. Or if not an automatic. They're the domestic terrorists, not us. We're fed up. We see this isn't right. We have the right to protest that. He really is, and they're letting him. There are people in power letting him, Rosie. MAGA Mike, that motherfucker, doesn't even have a spine. When he dies, natural causes, hopefully, when he dies, I want to hear the coroner's report if that man has a fucking spine, because I don't believe he does. To sit there and not question anything that's going on and go, oh yes, please keep on doing it. I don't get it. They're not even going after the illegals. So, I mean, it's a misdemeanor, D. Johns. It's not even a felony. It's a fucking misdemeanor. You know what's even funnier is they were trying to go after Gavin Newsom in redistricting and trying to say that he's gerrymandering. What the fuck were you doing in Texas? I mean, it's like, are you fucking serious? Every day it's a dumber fucking thing. And now, you know, a man who sat there and made fun of Biden calling him Sleepy Joe. Have you seen press conferences with him? Not to mention, doctors are saying that he possibly, when he disappeared over the summer, had a stroke because he's showing signs. I don't know if it's going to get worse, but spirit in the sky, but it definitely is fucking traumatizing and terrifying in these times right now. And you know, if this was anything about immigration like they're trying to say and people coming over here the right way, how about the videos of the people that sit there and say, I've got my papers? There was a video filmed here in Chicago of a woman who went to go and get her child. And when you're in the inner city, you are sitting in your car, if you have one, and waiting for your kid to come out in a line. Just like any other school. It's just now on the street instead of in a fancy parking lot like in the suburbs. And when she told him he had papers, he kept on going, what papers? What papers? So, it's not even about the immigration. They are terrorizing blue states to try and get blue states to change to red states so that way they can have full domination. And if you want full domination of what you're seeing a preview of, fuck you. Right, Rosie? Worst 20 fucking years of my life. I feel I aged 20 fucking years in this last year. Just in the beginning of this month has been fucking redonkulous. We started off on the 3rd with invading a country and kidnapping a president and his wife. Granted, the man is he was doing what Donald Trump is trying to do and should have been taken out, but not in that manner. And then all this shit going on in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. And we're not even done with January. January, we saw 3 people killed. 3 people killed. There was a woman here in Chicago pumped 5 times. 5 fucking times and survived. And then had to go and beg for her freedom to a court system because they tried saying that she was the instigator. Judge didn't see it that way, thank Jesus. Right? Except for the god-awful things that they were saying about him, that you would hear in the news, about them calling him Sleepy Joe, about them saying that he shouldn't be in power anymore because he's not running things, and auto pen. Fucking just disgusting. I want my life back. Oh, they're definitely starting to show up, Rosie. They're definitely starting to show up. I've seen them in some streams that I follow live. because I think of me. You know, it's just, it's ridiculous. I don't know why, watching a lot of those streams, you get to hear from the actual people who live there. One of the people that I follow actually physically lives there. And he's like, I don't know why our mayor and our governor aren't helping us. Thank God I live in a state that both of mine do. That both of mine are like, not doing that shit to us. So I'm glad in that. Because that's why I think things are getting so horrible there, because we didn't see this much violence here in Chicago. That's just next level what they're doing over there. And you would figure that the governor and the mayor would be like, no, enough is enough. I mean, yesterday he enacted the National Guard to help with the local police. So the National Guard can only do so much. They can't be police officers. All they can go and do is protect the federal building, the Whipple building. But that's where some of the violence is happening. And then, you know, it's not bad enough that we have all this shit going on with those guys. We got people who call us paid agitators when they're the ones paid by the White House to go there and put cameras in our face and do facial recognition so we go into a database because they have that much of a connection. These little tech boys. Nick Shirley's the one who started it off with the, I can't get into a daycare. I don't understand. They don't have kids there. Dumbass. So let me explain something to you for those of you who've never had to use the daycare system. Currently in our daycare system, my niece and nephew go to a daycare, so I'm speaking on something I know. When I go with my girlfriend or her husband to go and pick up the kids, you enter one door, and then there's another door that is completely locked. Each parent is given a code to be able to come in and out to come and get their kids. If you do not know that code, you cannot just walk in there. There's kids in there. They got to be protected. They got to be safe. There's babies in there. There's toddlers in there. There's 5-year-olds. There's kids. Okay? So that idiot trying to demand with a weird old guy to get into the daycare to see what's going on when they don't even identify themselves, just acting weird. Yeah, I wouldn't let you in a daycare either around kids because I'd be terrified. What are you doing here? So that gives him the right to turn around and say, oh, fraud, there's fraud here. Well, thank God a local news station went back to these daycares and showed that he was showing up at times when they were closed, either at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. And that they showed proof, timestamps, everything, date, that he was showing up at times that they wouldn't. And you know what? Maybe they should have been like, yeah, okay, come on in. We're closed, but come on in. Yeah, you're not going to see any kids there when they're closed. There's times that parents can drop off their kids and times they have to pick them up by. So that's what that shit storm off. And then you got Scam Higby coming with Nick Sordo, who hit a person over at the Whipple building. ICE agents, nobody aided him. Nothing. And they were trying to get away because earlier in that evening, they were in a situation where they hit a woman. And guys showed up to show that wasn't going on. That they're such bitches. They won't go after the guys, but they'll go after the women in the crowd. Because they feel that empowered. And sadly, they have a huge following. They have a huge following. I made fun of them the other day with my recent short because I was watching his live, even though I don't like going in there. And he was trying to, somebody in chat tried telling him that the journalist, independent journalist Don Lemon was still there. And he's like, oh, he's going to find out. Going to find out what? That you're a bitch? My friend Duper Trooper, when you were here in Broadway, looked you dead in the eyes and called you a bitch. Because that's what they are. They're the paid agitators. They keep on saying some guy named Soros is cutting us a check. No, we fucking hate you motherfuckers for free. I know that's kind of hard to grasp, but... I take my bar tips and make my signs when I protest in the No Kings March. My dinosaur, inflatable, 2 wonderful people who are subscribers here chipped in, and I chipped in the rest. So, no Soros money here. Because if Soros was sending me money, I'd be living nice in fucking Naperville right now. Not trapped in this hellhole Trumplican area that I'm trapped in. You guys are wonderful. You just let me sit here and rant and you listen. I appreciate you guys. I think that level of rant, I need coffee. I make fun of Angel ranting, but sometimes, Angel, you rant about silly stuff. Stuff that's totally fixable. This I don't know how to fix. Yep. There's all kinds of footage, Sally Stanley, of that. There's different points of view, and if you saw the point of view that I think you're talking about, you hear a woman screaming because she can't believe what she just saw right before her eyes. Thank you, Rosie. I do not know what that sound is. Sounds like a car outside, but I think it's in here. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Well, there is my boss. There's cameras all over the place, but... Let's see. God, it's almost noon. Or 1 o'clock? Yeah, 1 o'clock. I don't think it'll get worse. I think they're there to help and keep things to a dull minimum, and hopefully that shit fucking slows down. Those people wouldn't be out there if the chaos wasn't going on the way that it's going on. Well, we're going to do one cigarette and then I'm going to have to shut it down. Okay, thank God. I'm like, did I just lose my new gloves? I got new gloves. They're supposed to be like warmer than the ones that I have. They're okay. I need heated gloves. I need a heated vest. I would be so warm and cozy. Oh my goodness. I have got to find my squares. Because I do not have them in my pocket. I hate how I get this like weird little thing whenever I put my hoodie on. Okay. I found my lighter. Oh, okay. I'd light up here, but then they smell it. I don't know. They probably smell it from me smoking in the basement too, but take this to the garbage. Take out the papers in the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. So you guys heard me rant before about the shoes I ordered myself for Christmas. Commit to pay for the shoes to make sure it said the right address. And hopefully by Tuesday I will have some new shoes. They're going to kind of be like the shoes I already have, but they're Day of the Dead. And they have skulls on them. Very excited. I don't know if my wonderful Carl is coming, but if he is, I've got a shovel and salt. Man's 98 years old. The fact that he still drives is fucking amazing. I will definitely show them when they come, Sally Stanley. I am very excited. Well, yeah, everything else that's going on, Spirit in the Sky, it's trying to distract people. The last I heard, now they're trying to block the files from ever coming out. Why do you think that is? people like to use our salt bucket to pour their drinks in so it becomes solid. "100% he's on it." Why do you think that when they finally released somewhat of the files, that they were all blacked out? It's pretty bad when one of the worst PDF files known to history sits there and says you're a monster. What does that say about you? But they're all lies. They're all lies. And God help those people who are protecting him from us finding out. I mean, we already know. So it's like, why are you even hiding it? Because it makes it look even worse. You think I need more coffee? I feel the bitchometer just like rising. But then again, maybe today's the day where coffee isn't enough. Coffee, THC, nicotine. Use my big old booty. Keep the door open. Yep. Well, I want to know. I still want to know. Because as other people say, I don't care if you're Democrat, if you are Republican, if you're a celebrity, if you're a rock star, you need to be found the fuck out. I mean, Kendrick Lamar made a whole song about you people. What I love is the Clintons recently were called to come and speak before a committee of congressmen, and they declined. And the reason that they declined was because they weren't going to hold it in an open forum where everybody could listen and watch on C-SPAN or whatever. No. They wanted to do it in a closed-off setting. So that's why the Clintons turned around and said, no, we'd be happy to come and speak to you guys in an open setting, but we're not speaking to you in a closed setting so you can make us the narrative. Because that's what he's trying to do right now, is he's trying to push it all on Clinton. And yes, they do have ties. If you look up, I believe, I don't know if Epstein went, but I know that his counterpart, Ghislaine Maxwell, went to their daughter's wedding. So they knew them. I want to know who all the people are. Because if they're in office, they need to be voted out of power. If they're celebrities, they need to not be celebrities anymore. If they're singers. One of my favorite bands is Cake from the 90s. They had to stop touring because their drummer was found out to be a PDF file. So they've now got a new drummer, thank God, and recently went back on tour after years of hiatus. Yep. I mean, I know as somebody who was silenced myself, not because of so much people in power, but people who were supposed to protect me that thought probably that was what they were doing, but they didn't. And it made me more susceptible down the line to have it happen again. So that's why I feel so strongly about needing to know what's on those files, because I feel for those girls. It's probably all the above. All the above, Sally. But until we can see those files, we won't know. I mean, look at Gates. He fucking resigned from the Senate because he thought he was getting a job that he couldn't get because before he resigned, he was under investigation for paying a 17-year-old. Now, okay, she's almost 18, but she's not 18. And he was well above the age of 18. Now he's on OWN as a correspondent, as a journalist now. Yeah, that motherfucker should never be allowed to interview any children ever. Teenagers, kids, anything. But people like that not right now are being heavily protected, and that's sad. That's sad for the victims. Virginia Giuffre couldn't even handle the shit that was going on. That's what scares me, because I thought she was so strong for standing up and saying, look what happened to me. Even though she knew she was putting her life and her family in jeopardy, she said, look what happened to me. And look how Britain reacted to it. Prince Andrew? Ooh, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to call him that anymore. He is Andrew Montauban because he got demoted. He's being kicked out of his royal palace to go live in more meager means than he's not used to because mommy's not around to protect him anymore and his brothers had enough of his shit. That's how that should be fucking handled. Will they ever let him come over here and speak to Congress? Probably not. But what's happening to him is far more... He's in a jail he can't get out of now. Everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows who his ex-wife is. I couldn't imagine what it's got to be like for those poor girls that are their children and their grandchildren. You make decisions in fucking life. Make good ones. I haven't made great decisions. But I've learned from my mistakes to be a better person. That Uber driver in the beginning of this, if I saw somebody and I thought I could help, that's the type of person I am. We need more people like us in this world. I grew up in a time where people watched out for one another. Now you don't even know who your neighbor is, and sometimes you don't like them. What's the information that you have, Sally Stanley? Because I know, if I remember correctly, I believe she lives where you come from. She was living at the time where you come from, in Australia or something. I know she was going through a divorce. I know that the husband was trying to keep the kids away from her. I remember she went on her social media and said that she didn't have much longer to live. I think that was her warning to everybody that about what she was about to do. It had nothing to do with medical-wise. So, my motto has always been, me being alive pisses off the right people. But sometimes that doesn't even hold up at the end of the day. Yesterday was one of those days. You know, it used to be where you'd see snippets of things. Like Sally Stanley's probably sees snippets of things because they don't live in the country. But people who still rely on media like CNN, MSNBC, their local news stations, they're only seeing just a little click, a little blurb of what's going on. I think Status Quo yesterday said it best when they were like, look around, do you see any other of the national media here, the local media. Nope, just us. Been on the ground for quite some time. I think over 40 something days they've been in that state covering. And if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't see half the stuff that you see. If it wasn't for the brave people that had their cameras out in that moment, we would have to fight to get our say in that. But when we shove it in their face that that's not what happened, makes it a hell of a lot easier. Where I'm at right now, my girlfriend's got some fairly decent neighbors. The gentleman who lives on the other side of us, I don't know if he comes from Sweden or something. He's definitely European. Here I go with the European again. I just don't know where he's from. Very nice gentleman. He's helped with our garbage. He's helped with, because it's up top from where we are down below. He's put the cans out a couple of times as a good neighbor. He came and used his little electric snowblower on the part that we do have that is blacktop. So he's really nice. And the gentleman on the other side, he's an older gentleman, hippie, named Bob. He's a nice guy too. So, and then below me is my boss. Which is funny. I can never play hooky because he'd know. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised because I still think that they're behind Princess Diana's death. So, you know, she was speaking on some pretty powerful people. Yeah, see that we used to have freedom of speech, but our freedom of speech is slowly dying here. So I'm sorry that you can't speak as freely as we can, but thank you for saying that. But again, yeah, I would not be surprised. Big Chief, thanks for coming in. Great live the other day. I don't know, Rosie. What ended up happening down the line with Charles being able to finally marry Camilla and it not being such a big deal, I still firmly believe that the royals were behind her death. This is kind of the scenario where we'll never know for sure. Because, yeah, they say that guy was really drunk, but you can say that and doctor up papers. That guy could have been sober as a judge, and they just took him out. I don't think it's as cut and dry as they say, as the media has led us to believe. She did. You know, and that's what kept a lot of these women quiet. It's because the powerful people that were involved. There were a couple of people that they are now talking about that were killed. Just for saying they wanted to speak up. So it's just really sad. I'd like to believe she was a stronger person and didn't take her own life. I'd like to believe that the thing that stops me, personally, so I worked at a dog daycare with my friend Josh, who I call Deadpool. Cardi calls him Uncle Deadpool. We had a dog that came in one day. And it was very timid and just kind of sad. And I asked him why the dog was like that. And I'm like, does the dog just not like being here at daycare? He goes, no, the dog's owner committed suicide. So The dog was depressed. It missed its owner. Cardi didn't sign up for that. Layla didn't sign up for that. My kids, my friends. I've seen the damage that it does personally. And I could never do that to the people that I love. Do I have thoughts of it? Fuck yeah. There have been some really tough times in my life that I was like, you know what? It'd just be easier if I go to sleep and not wake up. But it's not easy for the people you leave behind. Not in the least bit. Ooh, I brought a pen. Now that I know how to work it. This thing, so I'm used to buttons that you push and you can just pull from. You gotta turn this thing on, you gotta turn it off. There's power settings. It is a sin, but I still don't like to believe that those people are stuck in purgatory, because my Nona and Papa were beautiful people. I don't for a second not believe that they're not in heaven. Damn it. I cannot. I hate when these things get clogged. Yeah, that's what I'd like to believe, Big Chief. I'd like to think that he looked at their situation and instead of it being out of despair, it was done out of the love for one another, and that they didn't want to live without each other. My poor Pop, from what I'm told, because I was very little when that happened, was suffering from cancer when we didn't even have chemotherapy. So all he had to hope for is when it got worse that they'd make him comfortable. And from what I was told, when I was eventually told the truth, my grandma didn't want to live without him. I wish that my grandma wouldn't have made, or Nona, I say grandma so you know who I'm referring to. I wish my Nona would have made a different choice, but it's not that I don't understand it, that they had such a love for one another. So, but I know that the pain that it caused my mom, because it was my mom's parents, and if she were alive, I definitely wouldn't want to do that to her as a mom who has lost 2 children as babies. I lost one to SIDS, which they've never found a reason for. He was 2 months old. And then I lost my daughter at birth, so her birthday and her death day, same day. Pretty fucked up. But I know one day I'll be able to be with her when I close my eyes for the final time. But when I close my eyes for the final time, it's not going to be at my hand. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they surely do. Yeah, my stomach exploded and killed my daughter, so my body pretty much was my daughter's murderer. That's just the tip of the iceberg, Big Chief. There's all kinds of stuff that has happened to me that I carry. But I try not to let them become bricks. I try to face them head on. I try as best as I can to carry on. I'm sorry you went through that too, Rosie. I waited my whole life to have a mini-me. I had boys first. I had 3 boys first. I was like, come on, girl. My ex laughed because when we went in for the ultrasound to find out what she was, make sure she was okay and everything, as soon as the lady had to walk out for a minute. I forgot why she had to walk out, but she walked out. I jumped off that table and I was doing a happy dance, all fat and everything was jiggling. I was so happy. I finally got my girl. Just God had better plans for her. So I had 2 previous C-sections before I had her. I told my doctor about this, and he told me that it would be fine and that they would just keep monitoring me, and I probably wouldn't go to full term 9 months, that they would deliver her probably shortly before 9 months. So I kept on, I don't remember exactly when, I want to say probably my 6th month. I was getting these weird feelings where it felt like somebody was taking a knife and scraping the inside of my stomach, and I told my doctor about this, and he's like, you know, you're just stretching and you have scar tissue. And so I took his word for it. Well, I went for my 8-month checkup. I don't remember. The morphine fucks me up in my memory of this time, or maybe just my mind because it's so much. But after my 8-month checkup, it was either that night or the night after, is my incision that they went into ripped apart and I started internally bleeding. So that's what I mean by my stomach exploded. And in the process, my heart stopped, because by the time I got to the hospital, there was so much blood around my heart, they had to restart my heart. When my mother-in-law called, they told her I passed. And as she was sitting there trying to figure out how to tell her son and my children that I was no longer and that the baby was no longer, they were able to start my heart, but they weren't able to save her. And I really hate to end on this note, but I see a customer about to come in. And I got talked to about the last time I actually included my customers. So I've got to respect them. I'm sorry I ended it on such a horrible thing, but you guys asked, so I'd rather explain. So I hope to see you in another live. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow. Hugs, Rosie. I'll see you soon. Have a good day, everybody. Bye. Hey, Rick.